Like when France won. Yeah.
Ronaldo with his skull cap hairdo.
Yeah.
That was bizarre. He was not on his game in that game, was he?
No, no, not at all. But I mean, as a match, it was I still go back and rewatch that one, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that I had been watching for a few years at that point, but that's the first World Cup that I really really remember very very vividly.
Well,
So
I'll show my age. The first one for me, I have some fading memories of the '74 World Cup. I didn't really have much control of that one TV with the push buttons in our household then. But '78 was really the watershed moment for me. And obviously, that's the one in Argentina. And Ricky and Ozzy will tell you, even though they were playing for the national team that won it, they really didn't know what was going on there in their country at that time, unfortunately. And I don't think much of the world did. But that was a great tournament. And then '82. I kind of went backwards, and I was in my, I wasn't even 20 at that point, so I'm out on the booze and not really paying much attention to the football at that point. So things came full circle back in '86, and it's interesting. A lot of the guys we follow on Twitter, I think we all follow them, have been watching these FIFA films, ones that are narrated by Sean Connery and Michael Caine, and they're really well done commentary. So if you ever get a chance to watch those films, for me, I like to think that 1970 was a phenomenal tournament, and some of that'll come up in just a minute when we get into the Spurs quiz. But there have been so many great tournaments. There have been some duds. There have been some duds in the finals. I mean, even '94. That Italy-Brazil final was just an absolute damp squib. So hopefully this tournament will be great. We'll start talking about it in a minute. But first, let's get into the Spurs-England Spurs quiz. So, Ben, if you've listened to the show during the season, you know the rules. You just got to go Ben or Ken. Now, it might be a little.
How about I use Foreman? I'm
Yeah,
gonna say Foreman.
you're gonna have to say Foreman, and maybe Ken you go Saxton because there's two syllables there. Uh, 5 questions. I do have a tiebreaker. I like to think these aren't difficult, but you know me, they are the worst questions ever. But they all have a Tottenham slant on them, and so we're going to kick it off. If you're ready, here is question one. This is a multiple point question. You'll get 1 point for the name, 2 points for the tournament. Who was the first Spurs player to score in the World Cup finals, and which tournament was it?
Foreman.
Foreman.
Alf Ramsey. And 62.
Ooh, I will give you Chile 62. You get 2 points for that, but the player was incorrect. Ken.
Oh my God.
All you got to do is think about the year.
Yeah.
Oh, I just damn it.
Tick, 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 tick. Jimmy.
Yeah,
I was going
yeah.
back
As
and forth
soon
between
as you
Greaves
said
and
the year,
Peters.
as soon as you said the year.
Only goal for England in the World Cup finals. Question two. This goes to that tournament I was just talking about. Mullery and Peters were on the score sheet for England in Mexico in 1970 versus West Germany. What match was it, and what was the final score?
I would be guessing.
Oh my God.
I have absolutely no
Name.
idea.
Who's
So
name?
So what are you looking for? The year and the score?
No. The match. Which match of the tournament was it?
Oh.
And what was the score? Follow the rules, fellas.
Saxton.
Name. Saxton.
Foreman.
Saxton, go.
It was the England.
Are you typing?
England went. No, that's not me.
No typing.
I'm not typing.
Come on, you got finals, semi-finals, quarterfinals, group stage.
Quarterfinals, and they won.
Bingo.
And they won 3-2.
Oh, we lost 3-2. We were 2-0
Ah,
up.
shit.
I thought you were looking for who we played.
Oh, I already said that. We played West Germany.
Yeah, I was like, wait, what? I was okay. Yeah,
All right. So you get 2 points, Ken, and that was one of those tournaments where you got out the group stages, you're in the quarterfinals straight away. Terrible match. Alf Ramsey made a tactical error. He took off Bobby Charlton when we were 2-0 up, and Peter Bonetti was in goal because Gordon Banks got Montezuma's revenge. And I tell you, Peter Bonetti, if you watch that match, you will just cringe because England had a great opportunity to go at least to the final to have a rematch with Brazil, but they wouldn't have beaten Brazil. They were phenomenal that year. All right, question 3. Which Spurs player with 4 goals at Italia 90 was Golden Boot winner in 1986?
Foreman. Gary Lineker.
That is correct.
Yeah.
We have a 3-2 lead, Ben over Ken. Question 4. Our London rivals, those Chavy Chavs and Woolwich Scummers, combined have scored how many goals at the World Cup finals? Is it 2, 3, or 4?
Foreman. 3.
Incorrect.
Saxton. 2.
That is correct. How sad is that?
Just the
1 goal each.
Find.
Wankers. Right. Oh, that's a 3-point question.
Lovely. I'll take that.
Ken takes the lead. Question 5. Match the tournament to the player in which they scored. Darren Anderton.
Foreman. 2002.
Incorrect.
Saxton, 1998.
Correct. And Defoe.
Foreman. I'm also going 2002 again.
That would be incorrect.
Damn it.
Saxton, 2006?
2010.
Shit.
Scored against,
like
I'm going to
right.
say...
Croatia.
Is that Algeria or Slovenia? That was his only goal. So, Ken wins 6 points to 3. Very good job. There was a tiebreaker score. I'm just going to ask this for shits and grins. How many Spurs players were in the 2014 squad, England squad?
Ken. 7.
Ben? 7. I do.
I think 2.
No, the answer was 0.
Yeah, I was going to say I don't remember any, but
we had none.
Oh, in the England squad, yeah,
we had none. That was pretty good job there, Tim Sherwood. Right, so having bragging rights there, Ken. Well done. So let's talk about the World Cup. So we're really not going to talk too much about the other groups, A, B, D, and E. There really isn't no Spurs contingent in there. We will talk about how we feel that the teams get out of those groups into the round of 16 matchups, and everybody has done their predictions, so it's not like we're wildly stabbing about who's going to be in the round of 16 and go on to the quarterfinals and mismatch them. We've done predictions, so we know how it works in the bracket format. But let's take a deeper dive into some of the groups that do affect the Spurs contingent that are in Russia this summer. First of all, we're going to look at Group C, because that features 2 of our stars. We have France, Australia, Peru, and Denmark. Obviously, you've got Hugo Lloris and Christian Eriksen. Ben, I know you talked about watching the U.S. game yesterday as they took on France, and also Christian was playing for Denmark as they took on Mexico.
2-0.
Yes, indeed. So tell us your thoughts on this group and your thoughts on France and Denmark and whether you think they can make it out of the group.
Oh, well, I think France is definitely going to win that group, despite, don't forget the old adage of, World Cup pre-World Cup form is not a good indicator of how you'll perform at the World Cup. I think France is going to win that group, and I think that it is going to be an absolute Western-style shootout for who gets out, because Peru, Denmark, and Australia could all easily get out of that group. I think I'm going to say that I think Peru is going to get out, and it's going to come down to goal difference.
See, I've got Denmark. I do have France winning it, but I've got Denmark going ahead. I just think Schmeichel's really on his game right now, and I think Denmark of those three other clubs has the best defending back line of those three, and I think that's going to make a world of difference.
Yeah, and Eriksson got a goal and an assist. I was able to see his goal, which was very nice. I don't see him doing that too much for Spurs. I guess it's similar to the United goal coming in from the right and going across the keeper. But he is going to be the difference for Denmark. If they can feed him, and I just don't see them having a lot up top. France, on the other hand, it's got to be a dark horse for the semi-finals for sure. They've got so much talent in their squad with Griezmann, and if Pogba's on his game, and there's just so much talent in there. And Hugo, he came in for a lot of flack this last season, whether it was justified or not. He's a captain, and I think he will lead them on. And as you said, Ben, I think pre-season or pre-World Cup friendlies are not always a good judge of what's really going to go on. All right, we'll move along to Group F. This is where Sonny's South Korea is. It's a pretty tough group.
It is.
It's going to be hard for them to get out with the powerhouses Germany. I don't know about Mexico in that group, but you've got Mexico and Sweden. Is that the group of death? I mean,
yeah, I think it is.
I've got Germany and Mexico getting out. Germany obviously winning it.
I've got Germany and Korea just edging out Mexico. I think that Mexico has some defensive issues, and I think that those will be able to be exploited by the teams in that group just because, Korea is going to play really attacking. And I think that, again, it might come down to goal difference, though.
Yeah. And I think if anyone knows anything about World Cups, that the group stages can be an absolute snooze fest, or there can be some really, really exciting games. It really depends, especially that opening round of matches, how tentative people are as they're feeling out each other.
Well, how about that actual World Cup opener? Talk about an amazing matchup. Ugh.
Yeah, so that's what, Russia and Saudi Arabia?
Yeah.
I won't be setting the DVR for that one.
Yeah. Well, I might just go down the pub for that because I've been hanging out for this tournament. And it's funny, this whole national team versus club, it rears its ugly head prior to the World Cup. But everyone seems to get behind the country as it ramps up to the time. And it's the hope that kills you. And if you've been an England fan, that hope definitely can kill you. That we cannot do worse than the last tournament, that's for sure. So 1 point out of the possible 9, it was pretty pathetic. Before we get into Group G in England and Belgium, where we have obviously great representation, the biggest, Group H features Colombia and Davison Sanchez, and they are bracketed with Poland, Senegal, and Japan. That's an interesting group because other than probably Poland, it could be anyone's for the second spot, right, Ben?
I think so. I think Colombia will win. I think that they have a really good team, and I think that Poland will edge out Senegal. I can't say I know very much about the Japanese team at the moment. I don't think I watched any of their qualifying matches, but I definitely think that's going to be a really fun group to watch. I think Senegal has a very, very real shot. But for me, I see Colombia and Poland going through.
Yeah, I've got the same thing. And I just think that it's a matter of, some of these that were kind of toss-ups for me became regional. So I just think the World Cup being in Russia, it plays a little bit more into Poland's hands than some of these teams and players and countries that have to come from such a far away place and have maybe never even traveled there before and get acclimated. And by the time they get acclimated, the group stage is over. So
right,
I got Colombia and Poland going through.
Yeah, and if you look at what Brazil have done, and the new Hotspur Lodge accommodation complex opened right before their arrival, and that's become their base before they head to Russia, and it looks like a very, very nice complex for the players. And obviously we know Hotspur Way is a world-class training